Passing your PMP can be difficult, but it can be even more difficult if you have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or even if you just have trouble focusing. This guide gives you 9 tips for passing your PMP with ADHD, especially because lately there have been more and more comments from people who have managed to achieve this, and they've given their tips for passing the exam. For example, this person passed with all above target for people, process, and business environment. And they started with the Google Project Management Certificate and doing that, but they found that the pace was too slow. I've been through that certificate myself, and I also found the pace was quite slow. So they decided to switch it up and go for the Project Management Professional instead to level up their career. So we're going to go through those 9 tips for passing the PMP with ADHD, see if you can guess them all, and we're going to make it ADHD friendly as well. So we've got a nice progress bar up the top. We'll do a countdown so you can see how long we've got to go for each item, and each of these items, try and guess the next one. See if you've used it in your life before. And the first one is the study resources that you can use to pass the PMP exam. The first one that is recommended a lot is to use summary notes. I have a concise summary notes in my Udemy course, and there are others out there that are very popular as well. And YouTube channels that will have summary notes like the PMP Fast Track or exam questions and answers that you can go through. These are multimedia. They sort of engage the brain by doing multiple things at once. And if that's still not enough, you can watch those videos at 1.5 to 2 times speed to maintain your attention and keep your energy levels high. I know I have done this, especially when taking Udemy courses, to get through the material, but also to keep that engagement. That is number 1. Number 2 of 9 is your study resources to use practice questions. This one comes up time and time again. When you're practicing, a lot of people find that they don't pick up the information until they have to recall it through doing practice questions. So use scenario-based and drag and drop practice questions. Study Hall have a whole bunch of really good ones. I have a whole bunch of really good ones on YouTube and on Udemy, but people will find that this works better than memorization or dense textbook reading. Now, number 3 for study resources. When you're taking those practice exams, don't get stuck on the expert level questions. A lot of people will get stuck on these and just go in a loop trying to figure out where they went wrong and getting more and more frustrated. Don't get stuck. Just figure out why they had their answer and then move on. Sometimes you may not agree with their answer, and that's also okay, but understand where it came from. Then move on and keep going. That is the ideal scenario. Just avoid getting stuck. Number 4 for study tips is to keep a regular schedule of short practice exams. And my tip here is to use net time. I love this tip. It's no extra time. If you're on the bus on the way to work, or if you're walking, doing a little bit of exercise during your lunch break, you can take practice exams, especially if you're on the Udemy platform. They have a great platform for practice exams that you can do on your mobile phone while you're walking around. But whatever you do, keep a regular schedule. So do 10 a day, do 20 a day, or however many you can in the time that you have to train your brain to start responding to those exam questions. Use that net time, and that's going to help you the most. Now, number 5 is to start building stamina for your focus. Yes, focusing is hard, but you're going to have to get ready because it is a 4-hour exam. It's a long time, and it's a long time to focus. Build that stamina by doing a couple of practice exams at the 4-hour exam duration, just in your own time, maybe on a weekend or maybe on a day off if you have that. But do at least one so you know what to expect. Do a couple if you can to start building that stamina for your focus. Number 6 is to familiarize yourself with the exam interface. When you book the exam, you can actually do a test of the exam interface, and I recommend doing that. That way you're not taken by surprise, and you've still got your focus for game day when you're taking the real exam. Number 7 is to schedule your exam at a time when your focus is at its peak. For me, it's in the morning, but for others, it's in the afternoon or in the evening. If your medication has a certain peak time as well, use that to your advantage. But whatever you do, schedule your exam at a time that you know is going to be best for your focus. Number 8 out of 9. How many have you gotten so far? We've done very well. Choose a testing center. Now, this one is a good one. I've done both at home and I've done at testing centers for my exams. A testing center is quiet. It's specifically designed to take exams. There's very few distractions. In fact, in my case, there were no distractions. And it helped me so much. When I took it at home, there was a lot of noise that I just was not prepared for, that I didn't even realize was there normally. So if you're like me, choose a testing center if you can. Arrive early and use relaxation techniques to reduce anxiety. I recommend box breathing. You've probably heard of this, where you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4. And doing that in a cycle will help calm yourself and center yourself just before the exam. Now we're up to number 9. I actually feel a lot calmer just doing that once. So that's actually pretty cool. But here we are at number 9. You made it. Use exam features. This is so cool as well. Like highlight and strike through. When you're reading the actual exam on the exam interface, you can highlight key words, you can strike through other words, and do that to narrow the answer choices that don't match the question. If they're asking about the project charter, then don't add something to the risk register, for example. Highlight the words that make sense. And another key tip is to check the end of the question. Usually, if a question is really, really long, it's hard to get through, but they'll have the very question with a question mark at the end to show you what they're actually asking. It's a bit of a cheat or a bit of a hot tip, but that way you can get an idea of what the question's supposed to be asking, and that'll give you the context for the rest of the questions so you can focus clearly. But all in all, those are your 9 tips for passing the exam. And what ultimately happened to the person that we started with at the beginning? Well, they survived a 15-minute internet outage mid-exam, which is quite a difficult situation, but they didn't lose their progress and they ended up passing above target, and above target, which I also know you can do using these 9 tips and using all of your study resources for your PMP exam and all of the work that you've put into it so far. I know you can do it. I believe in you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.